本当の僕を知らない奴に何を言われても構わないけど君を傷つける全ては許さない Just keep comes alive decide
Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again, and this time I am doing the overall season review of Blue Exorcist Season 3, and I must admit I really did quite enjoy watching through this season. And to those who don't know, there has already been an announcement for another season which will quite likely go up in October of this year, so I'm guessing that's got to do with how popular that the series was actually when it went up on Crunchyroll plus wherever else overseas, and it's really nice to hear that. So jumping into, I guess, the first things in relation to this season, what were my thoughts about the characters and the stories? Now, with the characters and the stories, of course, we've got Rin, which at the beginning of the season, for Season 3, we end up having a situation where Rin actually helps another classmate out, but this classmate is sort of like outside of the X-Wires as well as the cram school. And I really enjoyed seeing that from the manga come to the screen. And it was really good to see how they helped the character out, especially with Rin, seeing that he was also asked to sort of like help solve a mystery in regards to the True Cross Academy, along with the other X-Wires, in order to gain the cure for his friend. Now, another thing too is that with this particular friend, he also found out that, yes, this character is sort of like the half-son or related son to the Satan of this series, or the evil of this series. And sure enough, he took it pretty well. When we move into the next part of the episodes, we get to see something that focuses on, say, the female characters, or the younger female characters, which was actually really quite good. Before it actually moved into the main story, to which the Illuminati are involved, it was quite fun when it sort of like moved into the area of the festival, to which we got to see Shimi actually have a bit of a dance with not only Rin, but also Yukio Okamura, because with Yukio Okamura, he can be very stubborn in regards to sort of like certain things that he wants to get done. But we also see him still worrying about the flame that has sort of like been released, which connects back to previous seasons, but not only previous seasons, but also in connection to the manga as well, to which he does feel a bit of awkwardness as well as weakness, wanting to be stronger than his brother. And not only that, the way you see the character of Mephisto also interact with the students, because there's one occasion where Mephisto interacts with Yukio Okamura, sort of like bringing it up to him. You wouldn't happen to be working up working for the Illuminati that in this particular storyline, and of course he pushes away and denies it. But that's not to say that we do actually get something involving the Illuminati and Yukio a little bit later on in the story, which seems to give us, the audience, and those who read the manga, a bit of foresight, or what Mephisto's foresight is of like things to come in regards to certain things that a student might encounter, or many of the students might encounter. The next thing is moving into the key part of the story, where Izumo Kamiki is sort of like center of the story, and we also get to see we get to see quite a bit of growth with her character, as in a way that she sort of like comes to where we learn that she sort of like has a bit of disrespect for her mother. There's an event that takes place within the story, to which she actually does learn to respect what her mother did in wanting to take the Inari, or the fox spirit of sorts, so that she didn't have to sort of like bear the pain of the fox spirit. Then, of course, there's the pink elephant in the room. In this case, the pink elephant being Renzo Shima, who we learn in the series, but you also do learn about it in the manga that he is actually a double agent. We do get to see some more things play out within the manga, and quite likely they will be brought across to the next season of what will be happening there. Then also we have how the Illuminati, or the character of Lucifer in the Illuminati, addresses Yukio and realizes Yukio is also hiding something, and he's able to point that out to him, to which he does want to learn to actually get stronger with the power that is slowly being unlocked in him. With the way this story is coming, especially in regards to the twins, being Rin and Yukio Okamura, in this particular instance, it's sort of like Yukio is sort of like playing the role of Sasuke, where Rin is sort of like playing the role of Naruto. It's the only other way to bring it across, just to bring a bit of decent understanding. Even though, yes, they are twins, but one has their own goals along with the other one having their own goals as well. So moving into the main thing, which is jumping into the overall outlook of the characters. Which characters do I feel will probably or might need more of a highlight in the next season? If I were to point out one, it would probably be the character of Takara, because he is an interesting character, not only in the manga, but he is definitely made interesting in this particular season. And I like how the character was sort of like brought across in this season, that you only understood like so much, but they still carry like a little bit of mystery between them. Other characters, I think that sort of might need a little bit more of a highlight in the next season when it comes out, would be what more is sort of like happening with the characters of the Illuminati. You know, when the Illuminati ended up attacking the True Cross Academy, we got to see some of their attacks take place on the True Cross Academy, to which, of course, these things do have consequences, but they still have to make up not only for the consequences of their actions, but also what will happen to the characters as they encounter more of these members of the Illuminati. And no doubt we will probably see more of that when next season turns up. And I really don't want to give away any spoilers of what will probably be shown for next season. But yes, we do get to see like another member that is connected to, or that will be connected to the Illuminati. And if I give away the spoiler now, by the time the next season comes out, you already know about the spoiler. But when you can actually go read the series, whether it be through the Shonen Jump app or Viz Media app, or whatever particular source material that you choose to use, even if it's the actual manga itself, we do get a little bit more in the manga, to which these characters do want to actually learn more about their parents. And there may be a return of the character of Fujimoto for the next season. May. It doesn't mean it will happen. They might actually choose to hold it off for season 5. Considering how far we are with the manga, with this particular series. So, jumping into the next thing, sort of like after, sort of like addressing the area of the characters and characters that might be showing up in next season. My afterthoughts in regards to how sort of like the supporting characters were used. Now, with the supporting characters such as the XYs, as well as I'd say probably a few of the teachers, including Shura, who is also there to sort of like help out with the character of Rin Okamura, especially with his sword skills. Even though she did play like a bit of an important part with his character and his sword skills in season 2, it would have been sort of nice to see that take place a little bit more maybe in season 3, or at least leave some open gaps to see Rin Okamura improve on his sword skills. So, looking at the overall season, did I enjoy the characters, the main cast of characters? I'd have to say yes, I did. Now, what will I give these ratings for the main cast of characters? I'd have to say probably an 8.5 for the main cast of characters, and that's just for the overall episodes 1 to 12. I wouldn't be surprised if they might bring out an OVA after this, even though it might be a small OVA. And I think that would be something really good to sort of like include with this season. Next, in regards to the area of the supporting characters and how they sort of like adapted it from the manga to the animated, I'd have to say for the animated and for this particular season, I think they did a pretty good job, to which I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 for the overall. Next is the area of the animation itself, to which I will give an 8 out of 10. I quite enjoyed the animation, as the animation did actually feel consistent with last season of how they actually brought it out, even though I did cover the last season of Blue Exorcist in sort of like a written review, but at least with this time around, it's actually in an audio review, to which I get to share some pictures of the characters. So yes, an 8 out of 10 for the animation. So I think they did a pretty decent job of trying to keep it consistent as possible. Next is the area of the soundtrack. Now, I think the soundtrack with this is, along with the opening and ending theme songs, were really quite fun to hear, especially the open one. I think that was probably the best in regards to this. It would have been nice to see maybe a small change with maybe the ending song towards the last couple of episodes of the season, just to prepare the viewer that there are going to be some things turning up in the story in relation to, or that might connect to the next season, should they get out and the next season out. They did leave a little bit in regards to a flashback of sorts, to which there was a little bit of music played through it when we got to see the flashback of Yukio Okamura speaking with Fujimoto, and with that, it was really quite nice as to how they brought that across. So for the music, I think I might just give it a 7.5, as I feel in some places it could have improved. So that's just for the soundtrack. But moving into the last thing, and that is the area of the overall story of this particular arc. Now, if I were to put one thing down, is that this is sort of like the first part of the first arc in regards to the Illuminati arc in this story. So there are more parts to it. So for this first part, does it deserve a 7 or higher, or does it deserve a 9 or lower? So I think with this, I'll probably put this first arc in an 8 out of 10 instead of like an 8.5 out of 10, even though some of the things story-wise have received an 8.5 out of 10 in like some of the episodes, but I think for the overall arc for the season, I'm going to stick with an 8 out of 10 because this story presently remains unfinished, and that's why I'm sticking to the 8. Well, until then, as I am sharing this audio, hopefully you'll be seeing some images as well, which share about the next season that has been announced for Blue Exorcist. Whether I'm around to review that or not, I'd really love to be around to review it, but whether that happens or not, I don't know. It's something that's out of my control, but let's work with the things that are in my control. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.
本当の僕を知らない奴に何を言われても構わないけど君を傷つける全ては許さない You just keep on the life Decide かけ離れてる to say You're sad 止まらない距離感と happy Get try 絶対誰かが描いた君どこを探したってそれはいないもうだいぶ心はもう思い通り動かなくとも他の人と違うとこも近頃は扱い慣れてきた頃本当の僕を知らない奴に何を言われても構わないけど間違えた時さえそうな